Aw, I'm just being silly because I am. I am silly. And tain't nothing wrong with silly, except for the fact that I just said the word taint. There isn't anything wrong with being silly, you know. Hey, Destination Declutterers. Weren't we just hanging out together yesterday? This is the funny thing when I do a Destination Declutter TikTok live, when I do it at different times of the day, sometimes they almost feel like, wait, didn't I just do this? So I did, yeah. Yesterday I did a TikTok live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And then I thought, well, let me look at my schedule. When can I show up again? And where might there be? This is what I'm always looking for. I'm looking for you. Hey, Miss Crentis, thank you for sharing the live. I appreciate it. If you are excited about maybe getting some tips and tricks, and not even tips and tricks, that always sounds so like cheesy. More like methods and processes and things you can like repeat and get the results that you want. I kind of like that, but we talk about clutter. I talk about clutter because, hey, Destination Declutter, Decluttering Life Coach, all that. Talisa says, seeing you always brightens my day. Awesome. Hey, you know what? Practice brightening your day when I'm not here, too. I want you to learn to walk without me, you know? And I say that because I'm showing up a lot this week and next week, because the following week, I don't know about you, but the following week to me has Thanksgiving in it, and I get stuff going on, so I may not be. I know I won't be. I know I won't be on TikTok as much as I have been. And you know what I just realized? Check this out. Oh, there we go. So much better. So hey, folks that I know, hello, nice to see you again. And folks that have never seen me before, hello. Welcome to my TikTok channel. My name is Beth, and I'd much rather you remember Destination, as I point to this little pin on the wall behind me, Destination Decluttered. That's what we're all driving towards. At least here, we're all on a road trip. Each one of us is in our own cars. Each one of us is driving towards a different destination under the umbrella of Decluttered. And it's a different journey for all of us. How can I riff on this? I love riffing on stuff. You know what? We're all driving at a pace that feels right to us. Maybe some of us aren't moving at all. We should all be excited about the destination we're driving to, because if you're not, it's not a road trip, it's a commute. And I'm here to help you. So I will be here for the next like 55 minutes or so. And yeah, so let's jump right in. So if you have a question you're stuck with, clutter-wise and otherwise, put it in there. I say that kind of, but it's mainly under the clutter umbrella. And I'm here to help you. So Carla is asking, tips for displaying and keeping old papers from grandparents and parents. Okay. So as far as displaying things, now let me preface this by saying I was an art history major, so I know a wee bit about keeping archival documents and things like that. The thing I want to caution you for is if you have original documents and you have them out in the sun, even just in regular light, that will cause them to decay. That will cause them to break down. That's why if you're in museums, you'll see that the lighting is well controlled. So what I would love to suggest is, if you want to display something and it's a printed thing, consider getting a nice copy made of it so that you're not degrading the original, you know? Now this is funny because think about back in the day when they didn't have copies of stuff. To have the original was kind of a big deal. So congrats, and how cool is it that you and your family have these old papers from grandparents and parents, and that you want to, keep them and display them. So if you're displaying them, I would say consider, instead of displaying the original, display a copy. It'll be a lot safer. It will, so it doesn't fade in the sunlight. But then also, as far as keeping them goes, I don't make any specific recommendations, but I know that there are archival boxes that you can buy. I bet they get them on Amazon. I was at the Container Store recently, and I think they have them there. But you want to look for archival. And the reason I say that is because regular cardboard has acids and things in it that does not provide a pH neutral, what do I want to say? Just surface. So you could have stuff that kind of eats away at old paper. And old paper itself is probably not meant to last this long. And so it itself is probably fighting itself. So look for archival boxes. And then also, I would say this, anything you can add for your, kind of your part of your family's history, start to document the stories you have now. What are the stories you remember about those people? Write them down, do videos, share them verbally with the people in your family. The stuff is just the stuff, but the real thing that we love to keep is that sense of connection and the stories that make us connected to those other generations. Okay? So I hope those helped you, Carla. A lot of stuff too, I will say this, things like that you can Google and get even more specific tips, but definitely wanting to preserve those things for even 100 years from now, take care of them now. So there's that. IMY is saying what to do with old greeting cards, wedding, shower, new home, etc. So here's where I say, honestly, do whatever you want with them. I love, as a life coach, as I work one-on-one with clients. So if you were my client, and technically you are for right now, I say, what do you want to do with them? You want to hang on to them? Cool. If you don't want to hang on to them, cool. If you're not sure of the should I stay or should I go now, ask yourself how you feel when you look at them. Do you want to, do they tell you good stories? Do you have to keep them all? I mean, ask yourself some questions to get curious about how they make you feel. And also notice how it feels if you are thinking of getting rid of them. Notice the feeling behind a lot of these things. We can think things up here, but man, is it a different story when you feel things here. I just need to throw that away. Oh yeah? You know who's going to tell you to keep hanging on to that is when these two are not in cahoots, when they're kind of, you know, when your head and your heart are not in alignment, let's say. Okay? Carla, I'm glad that helped. I found my granddad's army journal from Germany. Oh, that's awesome. But what I will say too, please, oh, please, oh, please. I was talking with a couple of clients about this just this morning, about if you think about it, where we are, you and I right now, all of us right here, we are here in the year 25. No, we're in the year, I'm looking over here like I don't remember. We're here in the year 2023. The fact that we can even communicate is because we've got this crazy technology that allows me to hop on TikTok and you to hop on TikTok and us do this. So we have different ways right now of sharing information, of feeling connection with people. I say that to encourage you to not necessarily just put the old stuff in a box for other people. Other people may not want to read it. And every time you touch one of these things, the oil on your hands, the acid on your hands, even just opening them, gets them, decreases their shelf life. How cool would it be, Carla, I'm just riffing here, with your granddad's army journal from Germany? What if you read it? What if you read it out, some of it out loud to your family? How about at Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving is a time where we connect up and we love to share stories. How about reading some of the stuff from there? How about if people can't make it to your home and you're doing that, do a video of somebody reading those stories aloud and send it to your family. There are different ways to share stories now than there were when your dad was in Germany in the war, when all he could do was write down these things. So embrace what we have now, and embrace what we have now to make it even easier to do what you want to do with, which is why you're sharing this stuff, is you want to save the stories. Okay? User 9272 Bloody Blop is saying what to do with old VHS home movies. Same type of thing. Do you want to watch them? If you do, maybe you buy a VCR somewhere. If you don't, you put them in the trash. If you want to watch them and keep them, maybe you send them away and you get them, what do you call it? Transferred into digital format. Don't digitize things to DVD. DVD is already old hat, and I don't think you'll be surprised that some DVDs you have may also be degrading. So get them in a digital format so that you can share them and edit them. Okay, so notice that. Hey, Jesse Wild says, my partner once pulled over on the freeway to rescue a broken light by the side of the road. Jesse Wild, your partner is not alone in that. I've pulled over to the side of the road to rescue things. Some of us see value in the stuff on the side of the road, and we'll pick up that stuff. We all have different feelings about things. And I love him because I'm also kind of a broken light by the side of the road. You know what? He sees value in you, and so should you. That's what I say when I say things. Other people discarded this. I see value. I see value in every single one of you. Everybody who has shown up even right now for this first 10 minutes, if you have a clutter problem, you are brave enough to hang around to figure out, to hear there might be a solution. You're not like, nope, can't deal with it. Nope, have no bright. So yay you for hanging out. Okay. Tina says, do you suggest a yard sale for decor or just toss it? Here's the funny thing, you guys. Notice how what I'm going to say to Tina is what I would say to you if you were my one-on-one client. What do you want to do? Now let's talk through it. There's pros and cons to everything. I will say this, as far as just tossing things, me being a person who doesn't want to necessarily add to landfills unless I can help it, me being somebody who sees value in items that if it doesn't do it for me, it might be helping somebody else. I am always of the, let's see if I can connect it up with somebody before I throw it in the trash. To me, the trash is the last resort. Sometimes you do need to throw things away, but let's try a few things before then. Okay? So the first thing I would say is, do you think anybody's going to buy it? I don't know, maybe they will. So maybe you try a yard sale. Make it easy peasy. Don't get too involved with it. Put some stuff out, see how it feels. Do you want to spend? Here's the funny thing. Think about this. Do you want to spend the time that it takes to prep for it? And will that equal the money you think you might get? Now, it really depends on what you have and what people are interested in buying. If you don't want to do that, that's okay. You can donate things to places. I love this. Actually, this is the time of year when you're pulling out your holiday decor. Maybe it was Halloween, or it was Thanksgiving, or Christmas, or Kwanzaa, or Hanukkah, or whatever your decorating preference is. When you donate stuff now, it can go right out onto the sales floor so people who are looking for holiday decor can find it. But what I always want to do, and it may sound annoying, but it's where it's at, my friends, 2 turntables and a microphone. What do you want to do? Start to think in terms of what makes sense to me, or what feels right to me, or what's the destination I want? I want to get these, I don't want these items. What's the easiest way? What's a simple way that I can release these items back out into the wild and feel good about it? There you go. I love it. Florence says, my niece scanned all my father's letters to my mom and gave us all a USB. I love that. Sharing that stuff with the technology that we have of today. TC says, I had VHS tapes transferred to a USB drive from a local company that did it. Yep, there's local companies. You can send things away. I have sent away items to, photos from my old, like when I was in art school, and I was a photography minor after being a art history major. I had my stuff, my what do you call them, negatives. I sent them away to get them digitized and got them. So there's different way. There we go. Donna Ray says, I will throw things away or put them on the curb. Also neighborhood forums. Yeah, so notice the free sign. Embrace the free sign, people. People will pick up a lot of stuff that you don't see value in, but they will. Maybe they can fix it. Maybe they can use it. Maybe they can resell it. But giving somebody else the option of taking it before you put it in the landfill, that's what I like to do. It will depend on where you live and all sorts of things. But me, as a coach, I say try that first. I love it. TC just said, last Christmas, plugged the USB drive of the transferred family VHS movies to watch with my mom, and it was the best gift. I love it. Mama Kimbo, hey, says, we have done a free pile at the end of our driveway and sent out a group, out to our neighborhood group. 90% of it gone. Go. Notice it can be easy. To this day, I don't trash pick as much as I used to. I only trash pick certain things, and I think I did a video recently about getting some cool Fiesta wear, which was totally surprising, and some awesome books. I'm very picky now with what I get, but I know there's other people out there who might really benefit from the stuff that just doesn't do it for me anymore. So feel good about how you are releasing these things. Don't make it too difficult. Don't put any added steps in it that you don't need to do. But when you feel good about releasing your items that you don't want anymore, you're going to be more likely to show up to do it again. You know? JME 1700 says, how do you deal with kids who don't want to get rid of anything and won't organize their stuff? Okay, so a couple of questions I would say. And this is where the difference between one-on-one coaching when we meet once a week on Zoom for 10 sessions, or even if you're on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list and we're on a Zoom, it's so much easier to ask these questions. So I will offer, if you've just meeting me now and you're like, oh, this sounds pretty cool, tell me more. You can hop onto the Destination Decluttered email mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com/join. It's free. I do a monthly Zoom. I do some free workshops. You'll find out all about that when you sign up. But what I will ask this, JME 1700, first of all, how old are these children? Second of all, have they been taught how to get rid of things and how to organize things in a way that is sustainable, easy, makes sense, feels good? It depends. A lot of us were not brought up knowing, being specifically taught that it's okay to release the items you want. That we've been taught to hang on to things, and I'm even using the wrong hand, hanging on to things, because that's good. That might be useful someday. Somebody may have thrown away something of yours and you didn't like it, so you cling on to things. Okay? So just notice that. And just get curious about why they don't want to do it and ask them, why don't you want to get rid of this? If you want to keep it, here's what we do. Here's what we do. Yeah, I love it. TC says, I've been able to donate items straight out of my trunk to people in the parking lot. Just ask. There are so many ways you can send a flare up to say, I get free stuff. My husband just did it this morning. We have some stuff that we're working on in the basement. He posted a few things to a Facebook group we belong to. I reached out to some people I knew via email, and I got back to them. So there's so many ways. Again, notice the connection. The connection of, hey, I have this thing, but it doesn't do it for anymore. Would you like it? Don't push it on anybody. Have somebody want it. If they don't want it, don't guilt them into it. Okay? Because you wouldn't like it. Think about how it feels to you if somebody guilts you into something. Don't be that person then who does it to somebody else. Think about how exciting it is when you find something that you could really use and somebody says, here, just have it for free. Notice how that feels. You can be that person. What else can I mention as far as that goes? How it feels. People, it's so much about how it feels. If you're being weighed down, feeling heavy, feeling stuck, feeling ugh with your stuff, you can do something about it. Every item you release will make you feel a little bit better, make you feel lighter. Because you know what you're doing? You're choosing. You're making a decision that feels right in your heart, in your head, in your heart. When they're working together, you say, what is this item? Do I want it? And you ask both of these, and you find an answer that works, and you say, if I want it, where's a place to put it that makes sense? So I know where it is. I can find it easily. It looks good. But if I don't want it, that's okay too. If I don't want it, what's an easier way for me to get it out of my home so it can be out of my home and meet up with somebody out there out in circulation? Get it back out. It's like, it's like being on a date with somebody, I guess. Hey, you're nice. I see your qualities. You just don't do it for me. That's okay. Let's send you back out into the world to find somebody who's going to love you and exactly who you are, and no judging, no whatever. Okay. Callie Rose says, my brother graduates this year and he is on board for taking our extra dishes and whatnot. Awesome. Isn't that cool? When you say to people, hey, I've got this stuff I don't want. Anybody want it? As opposed to, hey, do you want my dishes? I mean, it makes it a little bit more awkward, but be cool with people saying no, but give them the opportunity to say yes, but be cool with them saying no. How's that? If that kind of, what do I want to say? If that kind of mantra can be copy and pasted in so many places in the world. Ask for what you want. I want somebody to take this stuff away from me. Do you want it? If you need something, same thing. Don't go buy it. Does anybody have one of these I can borrow temporarily? Okay. Yeah. Who wants to be the person who's guilting somebody? We all know how that feels. Guilt is a feeling that makes you feel stuck. Release the guilt and instead go on the other side where it's, curiosity and love and compassion and freedom and release. That's what you want. So just think about that. So what else can I tell you? If we haven't met before, yes, my name is Beth, Decluttering Life Coach, Destination Decluttered. I show up, quite often doing a TikTok live. And, I just saw somebody sign up for the mailing list. So thank you. If you're interested in that, that's destinationdecluttered.com/join. And I'm just looking at the calendar right now. Because I do have a number of TikTok lives scheduled for this week. I don't often do them on the weekend, but sometimes I do a pop-up. Sometimes, not all the time. A pop-up is where I just decide to go online. But if you're interested in, maybe you just ran across me and I, you're like, oh, this sounds cool, but I get stuff to do. I show up other times. You go to my TikTok page and you will notice that there's a pinned video at the top that says the schedule, and the schedule is between pretty much now and right before Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving I'm doing stuff. So Thanksgiving week I may do pop-ups, may not, but also the cool thing is if you like these videos, I upload them to Destination Decluttered on YouTube, so you can. I don't abandon you during the holidays. I give you stuff to watch. Maybe you've never seen them before, but you can listen to them. You can watch them. I much rather you listen to them. Think of it as a podcast that just happens to be on video, and listen to them while you're decluttering. Listen to them while you're just puttering around to get motivated, inspired. Okay? Yeah, I love it. Callie Rose says, yeah, my mom has tried to guilt me into taking things and just got to stay firm with the boundaries. Yes, do it with love for yourself, Callie Rose, everybody. And notice that your mom has certain things that she thinks and feels about the stuff that she has. Maybe she inherited some stuff from her parents. Maybe she inherited a way of thinking and feeling and acting about stuff that has set her in a position in her life where she's got too much stuff and she's like, how do I get this? I am here for you. I will help your mom if you want me to and if she wants me to. But every time I show up, consider me being like for the next, 40 minutes or so, I'm just talking to you like you're a one-on-one coach. So I'm not here to solve your mom's problems. I'm not here to do whatever. I'm here to help you discover a way to release the items that no longer serve you in a way that feels doable and that encourages you and that leads you to a life that you want. It doesn't make you feel like, oh my gosh, I have lack. It doesn't activate your nervous system in a negative way. What it does is it calms down your nervous system so you feel okay letting it go. And then you realize, hey, this feels even better because I'm calm and I'm getting rid of stuff. When your nervous system gets activated and it's in a fear kind of fight or flight mode, we all kind of clam up. And you need to kind of relax and open up to say, this is okay. I'm going to survive. I'm going to be okay, internal heart and head. We will be okay if I release this, sweater that somebody gave me. Okay? So just notice that. And the cool thing is, this is why I do the coaching, is I like to help you, release your stuff. But really, what I'm doing is I'm teaching you a different way. I'm sharing with you a different way of thinking that doesn't just stop with decluttering your home. When you think about it, think about how universal this 4-step cha-cha could be. What is this thing? Do I want it or not? If I want it, where does it go? If I don't want it, where does it go? That can be so simple. And think about how you can copy and paste that way of thinking into different areas of your life. How about your mood, your physical health, how you spend your money, who you hang out with, what do you do for hobbies, how your work is. Think of how just practicing on simple things like stuff you just don't want in your house could build a muscle so that you could go into any situation and say, what is this situation? Do I want it in my life? Will it get me the result that I want? If I do want it, how am I going to move forward? And if I don't want it, how can I get out of it as easily as possible? There we go. I love it. Daisy just said, you are talking about listening as a podcast as I am cleaning out the fridge. Yeah, you can't watch me with your head in the fridge. So thank you, Daisy, for letting people know that it works that way. I like to make things simple. I like to make things simple for me, too. When I do things simply, I have time to do other things in my life. I have time, frankly, to do more coaching, to do more TikTok lives if I'm not also sitting there doing a podcast. I may do a podcast at some point if I feel like it. But notice when you don't feel like doing something, you're like, meh. I don't see the benefit to it. I have such an enjoyment of doing TikTok lives. It's brought me so many clients. It has brought me so many wonderful people that I've met them and have gotten to know them better and help them because they're my clients, because I show up on TikTok Live. And it feels good to me, so I show up and do more. When I don't, if I'm not excited about it, and maybe it's a bit of ADHD, or maybe it's like, if it's not fun, why do it? Okay? Shell is asking, what if you want everything? Now, everything is a pretty big word. I bet there's some things you don't want. So how about I want to have the right amount that feels right to me, and it may be different from everybody else. Okay, so Shell, think about some stuff you don't want. Get rid of that stuff. Only you. I always think of only you can prevent forest fires. Or only you. It was the Platters, I think. My dad used to sing that song. Think about the word everything. That's kind of superlative. I bet there's some things you don't like. And you can release the things that don't serve you. Everybody, only you can define what is good stuff and what is clutter to you. Clutter to me is not the good stuff. Clutter to me is not the stuff you want. It's the stuff that you're kind of like, you don't want, but you're afraid to get rid of, basically. It's as simple as that. Clutter is the stuff that if you were given permission, if you wouldn't get in trouble, if it didn't activate your nervous system into fear, you would get rid of it, no big deal. Because you do this all the time. Oh, there's an envelope from this bill. I put it in the recycle bin, no big deal. What if every item in your home you could look at and not activate your nervous system and just be, do I want it? Nope, that's okay. I let it go. How much easier that would be. That's why as a decluttering life coach, I help you connect up to realize the connection between your stuff and your nervous system in your head, your heart, and your hands. Because you've got thoughts that make you feel a feeling, and when you feel a feeling, you do a thing. A thought in your head, a feeling in your heart, and then you do something with your hands. You either cling on to it or let it go. Okay? All right. User 4673 says, I have so much clutter and dirty dishes in my tight kitchen. I find it overwhelming. Oh, ding, ding, ding. First time somebody's mentioned overwhelm. It's always on one of these. Overwhelm is the thing that makes so many people stick. Okay, what I want to say, can't start? Yes, you can. You can start. You just don't want to right now. There's something in you that's saying, I'm overwhelmed. And when you feel overwhelmed and you say, I'm overwhelmed and it's overwhelming and there's too much, that's when you feel, ugh, I can't start. And then you don't start. Can't stop, won't stop? How about can't start, will start? How about this? User 4673. You have enough time to be on TikTok right now. And I say this with love and encouragement. So here, prop me up next to something where I don't fall in the dishpan. Continue to listen to me for the next 30 minutes. And while you are listening to me, just start doing your dishes. Start. You can do it. That's how everything begins, is just by starting. So what's stopping you from starting? If it's the overwhelm, just say, I only need to do this for a half an hour. And as soon as this lady stops talking about clutter, I can stop. It's kind of like a different way of using a timer. I'm big on timers because I know that they work for my ADHD family. They work for my ADHD clients. And sometimes when I need to be reminded, when I have a tight schedule and I don't want to miss a deadline, I use a timer as well. So use the time that I am on TikTok. As I just told you, I'll be here for like another 30 minutes. So say, okay, that's a half an hour. I've got a half an hour. Maybe you only have 15. You can set a timer and say, I'm only going to do dishes for 15 minutes. I can do that. Here's the deal. You're going to get to a point, if you chunk things down, overwhelm, when you calm things down and chunk things down for time or space, you get it to a point where your head and your nervous system start to be in agreement. Oh, that feels doable. I think I can do that. I think I can do that. That feels doable. Bam. As soon as these guys are playing nice together in the car, backseat driver, and co-pilot, hit the ground running. Okay? So start it. Start the dishes. If you're feeling frozen, move your body around. Do the opposite. If you can't start, if you think you can't start, see what happens when you do start. Just put your hands in the sink and wash one dish. Platter is telling your age. Me too. Yes, I will say it's a little bit, they were a little bit before my time. I am a Gen Xer, but I grew up in a musically loving family. So my dad would be walking around the house singing all the time. So that song makes me think of him. And here's a funny thing. So can you talk about inheriting stuff? Asks Terry. There's a lot of guilt and decluttering there. Okay. Notice, Terry. Notice how I was sharing with Results Slayer about telling my age. Notice that I have inherited a love and a knowledge of music from my dad, from both of my parents, from many people in my family. And so I don't need to have items that remind me of my dad because I can hear something, I can smell something, I can see something that I don't necessarily need a tangible item to remind me of him. It can be anything. So notice the things you inherit aren't necessarily things. Now, you and I are here talking about clutter, which is like physical objects. What I will say is this. There's a lot of guilt and decluttering there. Guilt is a fear. Guilt is a thing that makes you feel bad, makes you fearful. What are you afraid of? Are you afraid you're going to get in trouble if you don't like the stuff that somebody else liked? Are you afraid you're going to forget the person if you donate the things that were important to them? Are you, What are you? What's the story behind the guilt? Guilt is a feeling, but it starts with a story up here. What are you afraid of? All right. Kathy Michelle says, I have totes and totes of pics, no family. What do I do with them? I have no idea who some even are. Oh my gosh, Kathy, I got to say, if you don't know who they are, nobody's going to know who they are. Sometimes that stuff is just lost to history. It is. And here, I'll be really sincere and vulnerable and human right now. My husband and I don't have children. His brother and his wife don't have children. Neither do their uncles. They're like the end of the family line for the most part on one side. So when they're done, there will be pictures left over that nobody knows who these people are or cares who they are. This may happen. So if you don't know them, Kathy, I will ask, does anybody know? Might anybody know who they are? Or sadly, have the people who knew who those people were passed? If you don't know them, it's okay to give them a send-off. Oh, you guys, I'm sure you were awesome people, but I'm putting you in a trash can. I do that all the time. I talk to my stuff. Makes it easier. You know what? I bet you guys had an awesome life. Just because a picture of you is getting put in the trash does not mean you didn't have an awesome life. But I say this too to remind you, everybody, the pictures you do have that you remember who these people are, write that stuff down on the back of the pictures. Make sure you use a pencil. Make sure it's, don't press on it. Don't ruin the picture. But when you have this information up here, when you're no longer here, man, this hard drive is wiped clean. Nobody else is going to know the pictures that you know of now. So make it part of the inheritance to share the stories you want to share, but also allow stories to die that you don't want to carry on in the family. Okay? Interesting. My Scoop 73 says, I feel motivated to declutter when I know I don't have the time. Oh, isn't that convenient? Isn't that convenient? Like when I need to pack for a trip. Okay, so notice that, and then put note to self, when I come back from the trip, schedule time. Schedule time to declutter when you do have time. That's why, literally, you guys, one of the number one top 3 tools in the toolkit that I create when I am declutter life coaching with one-on-one clients, we create a kind of a customized toolkit, and I show you how to use 3 simple tools that can help everybody, not just with your decluttering, but just creating space in your life for what you want to do. And I call it breeze blocking. If you're in the corporate world and you like to be like, that stuff just makes me roll my eyes backwards, like time management, time blocking. And that to me felt like building like a wall. I call it breeze blocking because I love Palm Springs, but also because some structure is better than none at all, but too much structure to me feels very claustrophobic and fenced in. So I like a balance. So notice I said one of that things is taking this stuff, take a look at the stuff you know you want to do and have to do, and then making time in your day to do it. And it can be as easy as getting a 50-cent notebook at Staples and taking a minute to sit down and say, what hours do I have of the day and what do I want to do with the time I have? Okay, notice that. Okay, I have guilt that my children won't have enough because I don't have extra money right now, so I keep extra. I also feel like I feel guilty because I'm a single parent. I have to make up for the other. Okay, notice those feelings are causing you to do things. Notice just the cause and reaction. When you feel guilty, you are then doing something or not doing something to try to make the guilt feel better. How about this? How about you're just fine? They love you just the way you are. Maybe they have enough. Maybe they have just what they need. Here's the thing I want to remind everybody is your kids could use far less stuff in their lives and more quality time with you when you're feeling good and centered and you can focus on hanging out with them. Give them memories, not stuff. Give them memories of good times, not just, oh, I have to go make money to buy you more toys. Now, I'm not saying that's your situation. I'm kind of, going off on a slight tangent there, but just notice that the best thing you can give anybody is your attention and your time and your love and your heart and your curiosity and your willingness to listen to them. That is something that costs nothing, and it is more valuable than gold. More better than any other thing you can buy at Target. Okay? Notice that. Jesse Riley, just backed it up. When moving into a new home, what's the best way to figure out what you need or don't need? Live in it. Live in the home. When you are in the home and you realize you need a roll of toilet paper, you're going to find the toilet paper, you're going to put it in the bathroom. When you're in the kitchen and you want to eat a bowl of cereal, you can realize, oh, where are my bowls? I got to get a bowl. Oh, I have to get a spoon. Allow the way you live your home in your life to dictate what's in your house, and what that does is it allows you to realize what you're not using. The stuff that's in a box that you can still live a life that works for you without even opening that box. So then you can say later, wow, you know what? We've been here for 6 months and I've never even opened that box. Now, I know that this time of year, holidays, Thanksgiving, holiday, Halloween, all the things. This is a different time of year. There are things that maybe kind of go to sleep for, whatever, like 9 or 10 or 11 months of the year, and then you pull them out once because it's like your Christmas gifts, your holiday things. That stuff is different. But think of the things that are, in storage that you're able, even everybody, even if you haven't moved into a new home, what are the things that are in storage that you are living a life that is functional and enjoyable, ideally, that you don't even have to open up the boxes in the basement or the attic. Notice that. Okay. There we go. Somebody says, instead of just throwing away, I would have a bonfire. Yeah, I'm going to have, actually, we have friends who have a giant bonfire. I save a lot. I'm being completely honest here. There's boxes right down here. Every year, I get a little box, and it fits paper in it nicely. I've done this literally for the past 20 years maybe, and even before that I was a keeper. I was a collector. I'm a collector. I'm not one of these people who's like high on their minimalist mountain saying you don't need all that stuff. I'm one of you guys. I save things. I'm sentimental, but what I found is a process that works for me. So at the beginning of every year, at the end of every year, I create a box that when there's little tchotchkes that I save from, as I like to call it, an evidence of a life well lived, I put them in that box. And every time I do that, it reminds me of an evidence of a life well lived. Then I put that box in a shelf in the basement. I start a new one for the new year. But yeah, seriously, I only save it for me. I don't expect anybody else to know all the stories there. I would love to share the stories. This is the time I saw Black Flag at the channel, and I talked to Henry Rollins, and I remember the time that I asked Morrissey to hand me that book. You know what I mean? Like, that's my old-timey photo. Those are my old-timey stories. But they probably will be, land on deaf ears for my nieces and nephew. And that's okay, because I remember when it was like actually it was more like great aunts in my life. But what I say is, notice having a plan. My plan is to collect up this stuff up for maybe the next 20 years. Yeah, 20, 25 years. And then every year then go through some of those boxes and have a bonfire. And just be like, look, there's that ticket stub. Look, there's that, cocktail coaster. Look, there's that really nice note I got from somebody. I can relive the 20 years, the 40 years past by doing that. I do that. It's simple. It's neat. It's a process. It takes no time. It feels good to me. It feels okay with me. And it doesn't take up a lot of space. I share that with you because I don't want you to think that I've got it, I'm all minimalist and I don't do any of these things. I'm a human like you. I'm sentimental. But yeah, the bonfire is a good way too. Okay, here's the thing. I keep way too many things because I feel like I don't want them to lack in what I can't get new. Guami, you're being such a good mom, but whatever, I want you to also spend as much time with your kids as you do money on stuff. Things can be replaced, time with their mom, and their mom who's feeling good and happy and good when you're not feeling lack and you show up and hang out with your kiddos and you play with them. Those are going to be the memories that last a lifetime. Okay. Yep. Give them more memories and want to do better. Okay. Their room is not walkable right now, and that is not okay. You know why, silly? You bub? I say this with love. It's because you're buying them too much stuff. Decrease the amount of stuff you give them and increase the amount of time you give them. Then you're going to feel better. They can walk around their houses. Just notice that. And here, I say this with love. If you've got, there is stuff in all of us right here that is making us do things and not do things. And coaching can help with a lot of that. But if there is, a little bit more there, stuff behind your stuff, that's when I say to people, both right now and if you get on a consultation, that there is help out there, even if it's not me. You might benefit from therapy. If people are hoarders, and I'm not saying anybody here is, but if you are, that there is mental health help for that. Okay? Okay. Notice I don't spend money, just have things that have been collected, and all we do is stress and clean. How about stopping that? This cleaning and the stress. How about the fewer items you have, the more space you have, the less you have to clean, and just learn, have fun with your kids. Do we want this anymore? Does it feel good to only be stressing and cleaning? I think the answer is no. So let's do something about it. And how about this? You want to make your kids feel good? Hey, you know what? We've got some toys. We have too much. We have an abundance of toys. How about this year we go donate them someplace to kids who have no toys at all? Let your kids know that it's okay to release things. They will have fewer items to take care of. It'll be easier to clean when you do clean, and you won't be spending your life stressing and cleaning. You simply have an overabundance, too much stuff. It's a numbers game. Okay? Notice that. Okay? So just notice that, everybody. All right, what time is it? It is 12:40 on the Eastern Seaboard here. My name is Beth, Destination Decluttered. I feel like I'm on college radio like I was back in the day, just doing a little station ID. So if you're wondering where you were, Destination Decluttered. I am a decluttering life coach. I do one-on-one coaching with people for paid coaching for 10-session packages, as many packages as you want. Packages make a great gift. Get it? A package like underneath the Christmas tree. So if you want a decluttered home for Christmas, tell whoever's buying you gifts to pay for coaching for you. It can be as simple as that. But I also have a free mailing list if you want to just take baby steps, if you want to get on my mailing list. I send you cool stuff. I don't send you a ton of stuff because how funny would that be? Again, if I was adding to the clutter of your life. No, I only send you good stuff. So you get an automatic email when you sign up for the mailing list at destinationdecluttered.com/join. And then there is a habit tracker on it that I need to fill out mine. I will admit that I've been a little bit off the beaten path as far as mine is, but I'm going to get back on there. And then you get invited to the monthly Zoom. I'm doing a free workshop this Sunday about breeze blocking. That if you're interested in making time in your life for the stuff you want to do, I'm doing a working workshop. So you get, I will send you, and it's free just for being on the mailing list. Because I know how important it is this time of year more than ever to not allow the thought, oh my God, the holidays are overwhelming, what about? Let me ask you this. How do you want your holidays to feel this year? How do you want to feel on Thanksgiving? Write that down. Write down how you want to feel on Thanksgiving. How do you want to feel on insert December holiday of your choice? And last one, how do you want to feel on the last day of this year, looking back at what you did this year, and on the first day of the year, looking ahead to 2024? How do you want to feel about your life? How do you want to feel inside? Do you want to feel stressed? Do you want to feel spent? Do you want to feel exhausted and frustrated and overwhelmed? I think not. What's the opposite of all of those? See, here's a great thing. When you don't know the good words to use, just think of what the opposite is of the lousy things. There we go. Calm, at peace. Yeah. And Carla Holiday is saying, I'm learning I hate the overwhelm a lot more than I love the stuff. Yes. And the neat thing is that decreasing the overwhelm makes it easier to release the stuff. So that's a nice interplay. Okay. You want it to be cozy. Write this stuff down. Because this is going to be your guiding star. This is going to be your destination you're driving towards. I was working on a one-on-one coaching call today with a client, and I said, how funny is it that, I'm talking about prepping for Thanksgiving and Christmas Christmas has that whole, the star in the east and following the star, and it's going to guide you to where you want to go. Your destination, how you want to feel on the holidays, if you keep that in mind and you're always focused on it, I want to be less stressed, then every opportunity, everything that comes into your home, in your life, you can say, is this thing going to get me more stressed or less stressed? If it's going to get me more stressed, I can say no to it. If it's going to get me less stressed, yes, let me do that. And you keep that in your mind. If you don't clue into how you want your home to look and feel and function, but especially how you want to feel inside, because when you feel good, you radiate goodness out all over the place. It's what I call like a positive ripple effect. Okay? So just notice that. A positive ripple effect. You feel good. The other people around you feel good. Then they feel good. They do good things. When you think better and you feel better, you do better. And who doesn't want to feel better? The only reason I show up to do this is to help you, to let you know that you can feel better in your life if clutter is jamming you up. I mean, technically, you can feel better in your life if something else is, whatever's jamming you up, you can feel better. But my wheelhouse, my silo, my slice of the pie that I enjoy helping people the most with is clutter. because I know what it's like to have physical items that you're like, oh, I'm afraid to deal with my life, so I go out shopping. Oh, I don't want to deal with stuff, so it piles up. Oh, I'm afraid of, getting in trouble if I get rid of things. All those types of things. I've been there. I go through it all the time, but I've made it out the other side, and I continue to work on it. But when I feel better about it, it's so much easier. Like I am enjoying releasing some of these items that I have, and I'm totally not bringing in stuff like I used to. And it feels good. It feels at peace. I'm saving money because I'm not buying stuff. I'm making money because I'm selling some things. And then I can choose to spend my time and my money on the things that are important to me right now. Not necessarily the things that were important to me back in the day. Here I am right now, what's important to me. And when I'm looking at my destination, and what kind of future do I want? How do I want my home to look? How do I want my life to look and feel and function today and every single day until I die? Write that stuff down. That will help guide your decision making because you'll have something to bounce it off of. Okay? Notice that. Dawn is saying, I feel motivated to start getting rid of stuff, but then I get scared, especially if it's a new trailed off. But notice the kid stuff. Okay. Dawn, I love that you noticed that you will do it until the fear comes in, the activating of the nervous system, the scared of something. If it's my kids' stuff, here's what I want to say. If you're afraid of throwing away or giving away stuff that's theirs and you don't know what they want, please, oh please, get them involved in the process. Let's break this generational chain of not knowing how to deal with their stuff. Get them involved. Say, hey, we need to reduce the quantity of items. There's too much. But let's make let's have fun. I want to spend some time with you and I want to make it fun. Pick out your favorite toys. What are the ones you definitely want to keep? What are some ones that you don't like as much? Maybe you've grown out of them. Maybe they didn't work out the way you wanted. Don't go into it with judgment, but get them involved. Okay? Yeah, Barbie is saying, I don't have to bring everything home. What a wonderful mantra. I think it's pretty and I can admire it in the store. Yes. And if you want to bring it home, maybe you even just literally, does anybody do this else on the internet? You do this, but in real life too. I'll put it in my cart and I'll walk around with it. And then I say, do I need this? Here's a funny thing I found. I used to not have money. So when I had money, it meant a lot to me to feel like I could buy stuff. Now that I have money, the interesting thing is too, is I'm like, oh, this is a slippery slope because the I don't have money for it is not an excuse. I can buy, I don't want to say I can buy anything I want, but I've reframed how I think and feel about my money and how I spend it. And so I will pick up something. It's like, you know what? I can buy this. And that feeling of I can buy this if I want it feels good. Just even that right there, I can buy this if I really want it. And then I say to myself, or not. I can buy this or not. And sometimes it's not the thing. It's the feeling of, look what I can afford now because I used to not have money to buy this stuff. And how funny is it that by the time you finally get the money for things and then you're like, it's just stuff. I don't need any of it. Okay, Anna Little is saying, I'm bad to buy stuff because it's on sale. Notice that. You're not saving yourself any money if it's something you don't want. I love that Lovejoy is saying, I store my hardware at the hardware store. Oh my God, high five right here, because that's what I say. It's like we store our groceries at the grocery store. It's the same thing. If I need it, I know where to get it. But oftentimes I don't need it. And of course we have, tools and stuff in a toolkit, but we're not going to buy things just in case. Okay. Rebecca Lynn, Digital Marketing, is saying, I need to get rid of stuff, but don't want to throw it away. Notice if you think you're going to have to throw it away, you're not going to get rid of stuff. Let me correct that thought. You don't have to throw it away. If you watch this video when it's downloaded from TikTok and uploaded to Destination Decluttered on YouTube, what I will let you know is that there are many ways you can get things out of your home, but it isn't immediately like from your home to the dumpster to the landfill. You can sell it, you can donate it, you can gift it, you can put it on a free table. You can put it on Facebook that somebody, does somebody want it? You can send an email to somebody. There's so many ways you can get it out of your life that isn't throwing it away. Okay. Okay. Dawn says, okay, they're adults. They don't want any of it. I'm afraid it'll make me sad later on and regret. It's making you feel sad right now. It is. Feel the feelings right now. Maybe take a picture of some of the things so you don't have the items. Oh, remember when his little foot was that big and he fit into this little booty? It makes me want to cry because life never stops. It always changes. And now that little kid is 6 feet tall. Notice that they don't want that stuff. It's okay. Let's break the cycle of feeling attached to things so much. They have things that are important to them now, and the things that you saved for them are now are important to you. So feel the feelings right now. Release them and feel okay with it. And you don't have to get rid of anything you don't want to, but don't be afraid to go through and whittle down some of that stuff, or even just don't be afraid to go through those items. You saved them so you would remember the memories. And the memories are not just here, but they are here. Memories will make you feel feelings, and you are not a robot. This is when I crack up and I say, when you join the Destination Decluttered email mailing list, there's like one of those little spam filter things at the bottom. It says, I am not a robot. So you check that off, and I love it because I don't coach robots. I don't coach like a robot. I coach human beings. And humans, we feel. We feel feelings. Good ones, bad ones, middle ones, though some as big as your head, right? Armor hot dogs. Notice that it is okay to feel your feelings. It is the necessity as a human to get out the stuff. If you want to cry, your body is like, get this out of me. I want to cry. I want to release. I want that. Allow yourself to feel the feelings. And then once you've felt them, it'll be like after a rainstorm. It'll be quiet and clear. And you can breathe, and it feels good because the air just feels better after that rainstorm. And then you say, okay, I felt the feelings. Now, what do I want to do with this thing? And notice when your nervous system is feeling better because it felt the feelings, and your brain is calm, and then you want a house that is less cluttered. That's when these two are playing nice together, when they're in alignment. You can say, you know what? I still want to keep this one, but maybe I'll get rid of this one. I'll donate that to somebody who just had little kids. Or I'm going to keep this one, but I'm going to check on this box in like another 6 months and see if my mind has changed. No judgment, but I'm going through the process. Okay? So allow yourself. Everybody, feel the feelings. Okay? Very organized hoarder. Yeah, notice that. We all have feelings, and things remind us of stuff, but that's okay. You can find other ways to do it. Again, another recurring theme in today's TikTok Live is going to be the fact that, back in the day, there was no digital stuff. Not everybody had a camera. There were very few ways to remember things, so we would hang on to items. Now we have not only our memories, which are, faulty, but also we can take pictures, we can make videos, we can post videos, we can tell stories, we can write stories, we can take photos with stories, we can make books, so many other ways to remember the feelings and those items that will take up a fraction of the space of the things. Do what feels right to you and your situation and what you want your life to look and feel like. And start living the life you want to live now. Do you want to feel? How do you want to feel in the future? How can you feel that way today? Between 1 p.m. Eastern and midnight tonight, what can you do today to make your life feel more like you want it to? Gigi Jean is going through it right now. Barbie is saying, how do you feel about people who collect stuff? I say, my people. I know what it's like. Oh my gosh, I get collections. I love it. I have no problem with it. And you shouldn't too. But notice the amount of things that you collect. The collecting itself can be fun. You get a dopamine hit when you find a matching thing. Look, I can add this to my collection. Until it gets heavy, and then you're like, oh, I have too much stuff. It's weighing me down. Okay. Boop. Morgan is saying, my sister knows I rarely actually get rid of my donations, so she grabs my donation box when she leaves. Okay, that's really cool of your sister to do that if it works well for you. But Morgan Ray, get curious as to why you are reluctant to do the final step. Play with your nervous system. Are you afraid there's a dragon at the thrift store that's going to bite your hand when you donate it? Probably not. But notice how our bodies get activated with fear of pain and harm, and then they say, "Don't do that. It could feel bad." Okay, there we go. There we go. Yeah, I love it. Bobby Dugas is saying, I make it a treasure hunt. So do I. I have found some treasures. I'm going to be so excited because I did some decluttering of my basement. There's very little clutter of mine down the basement, but I'm dealing with it. And already I'm thinking I'm going to make some money on some stuff that I've reached out to people to say if they want to put it in auction. It's just random things that we have that we don't want anymore. But it's enough stuff that I'm like, oh, I will put up with, doing something like that. So I will keep you guys posted because to me, what I want in my life right now, I don't want so much stuff. I want experiences, and I want things that make me feel good, like being someplace warm when it's cold outside. Because I grew up in New England and I live in Pennsylvania. In the winter is coming, and I'm not a fan of the cold. So I say, what's the stuff that I have here that I could maybe sell and then turn it into a plane ticket? Okay. There we go, Dawn. It's baby steps. It's baby steps. You got this. I love it. Carla Holiday says, I have loaded and unloaded the dishwasher while we have been here. See, time passes. It all is up to you of how you want to spend your time, and spending your time doing the things you know that are going to get your home and life looking and feeling like you want it to is time well spent. Okay. Yes. The treasure hunt is great. Florence says, I am moving to Japan. Do I want to pay for shipping that item? If not, donate. Yes. Notice the not making fun of it, having fun with it. It's a treasure hunt. I'm moving to Japan. I used to play that we were moving to Palm Springs. And that's why so much of the stuff, and I realized I don't even need to move to Palm Springs because with the exception of the weather, and I like to travel there, but I have made my home look and feel like my home would feel if I lived in Palm Springs. Now, we're lucky enough that the style of our house kind of lends to that. But even when we lived in a brick cape, I was like pretending, like I'm going to pretend I live where I want. How can I make my home look and feel like I wanted to? Okay. I love it. Okay. It's kind of far from your house. Takes a special trip. Okay. I think it's that. So notice the next time you're out and you think you're going to be heading that way, could you batch up your errands? Just notice these things. Paula J says, I think I'll have regret after deciding to donate. Okay, Paula, that's why you need to back up the process a little bit and get clear with making decisions that feel right to you so you do not have the regret when you donate it. When you feel at peace, when your head and your heart are in alignment with what you want and releasing this item is going to help you get there, you won't have regret. I had some stuff that I was kind of waffling about and I was like, waffles. And then I realized, oh my gosh, like I just donated like this weekend 2 bags of clothes and a box of stuff to a thrift store. I don't even remember what was in that box once I put it in the box and covered it. But it's stuff that I kind of was like, I don't know, maybe. And I said, put it in the box, Jason. Cover it up. I don't even remember what it is anymore. Okay. Bianca is saying, I'm just a bad procrastinator. Can't get motivated. Bianca, what I want to offer to you, because I'm only on for like 2 more minutes and then I'm going to sign off and get onto a day of coaching and consultations, is start with the end in mind. If you're not motivated, I bet you're not psyched about why you're doing it. Your heart is kind of like, meh, I don't want to do this. Why should I do this? Whatever. It's different from when you get like your nervous system is activated in a really good way where you're like, oh my God, you know what? I want my house to look and feel like this and I'm going to do the stuff to get me to do it. Okay. So it has been a joy to hang out with you all today. If we just met, some people are just signing on. My name is Beth, Destination Decluttered. Just remember that. Follow me here on TikTok. I do TikTok lives quite often. Different times of the day, different days of the week. That's how I roll. But there is a schedule posted on the top of my TikTok page. It's a pinned post between now and pretty much the weekend before Thanksgiving. So if you want to tune in, you'll know where to get those. If you want to get all the good stuff, though, and I know this sounds infomercially, but I'm going to say it, is I have a free mailing list. I guess it can't be a commercial if I'm not charging any money, but I have a free mailing list you can hop on, email mailing list, all sorts of good stuff. You get invited to a free monthly Zoom call. It's a group call. What else? We've got an upcoming workshop on how to schedule your time. Anything I can do. And then, of course, I do the one-on-one coaching. Now, that's paid. One-on-one coaching, 10 sessions, that type of thing. You can find out all about that when you're on the mailing list. So the mailing list is really like the next good stop besides my TikTok page. So I just wanted to mention that to you. I will be doing another TikTok live later this week. Don't remember when it is. This one's going to be downloaded from TikTok and uploaded to Destination Decluttered on YouTube if you want to listen to it like a podcast when you're puttering around your house. And thank you, everybody, for hanging out with me, and I will see you later. Okay?